Hello creative people, welcome back to the channel. This is Everly Green. I'm a Spanish illustrator and it's been 2 years since I started my journey as an illustrator. So today I want to do something a little bit different and compare two of my illustrations to show you how much I've grown as an artist and share some of the things I've learned along the way. I'm going to be comparing two illustrations, one that I made 2 years ago and the same illustration but redrawn just a few days ago. So let's start with the first piece. This was one of my very early illustrations. I drew it back when I was just starting to explore digital art and using Procreate. And to be honest, when I first made it, I was really proud of it, but now looking back, I can definitely see how much I've grown. At the time, I didn't really know much about composition, and you can tell because it looks pretty basic. And even though I still like the color palette I used, the colors feel a bit flat with very little shading or depth. But that's totally okay, I guess. This was part of my learning journey and it represents where I was at that particular moment, and I was still figuring out how to use Procreate properly, learning how to make the most of its features and trying to find my style while getting comfortable with digital art. Now let's jump into this more recent illustration. I created it just a few days ago and it's a new version of the original drawing from 2 years ago. And as you can see, the difference is pretty big. I used the same palette of blues, pinks and greens, but I think my understanding of color and textures has really improved over these 2 years. And even though this is still far from perfect, I feel a bit more confident now with things like composition and using of color to set the mood. I think this version has more depth and it feels a bit more intentional. If we compare the two pieces side by side, the first big difference is the composition. The second one includes more elements, which makes it feel fuller and more interesting. Color-wise, I think the bright blue background in the first illustration is a bit overpowering. It kind of steals the attention from the mouse and the flowers. In the newer version, I feel like the colors work together in a more harmonious way and they convey the feeling of a rainy day much better. As for the illustration style, I have always liked keeping my characters simple, but I think the mouse in the first drawing looks a bit too flat because of the lack of proper shading. In the second one, it is still simple, but it has a bit more personality and character because of the added elements like the raincoat or these little boots. I really liked redrawing all the illustrations because it reminds me of how far I've come. It is also very easy to get frustrated sometimes, especially when progress feels slow or invisible. But the truth is, growth doesn't happen overnight. It takes a lot of experimenting and loads of trial and error before you really start to understand the tools that you're using and begin to develop your own style. There were many illustrations like this one that helped me become a more intentional and confident illustrator, and most of them had loads of mistakes. But one of the most useful things I've learned along the way is that mistakes are actually the perfect opportunities for improvement. Every piece of art, no matter how imperfect, is part of your journey. So if you're just starting out or feeling a bit stuck at the moment, don't get discouraged. It's all about practice, experimentation, and most importantly, being patient with yourself. I have also realized how important it is to study your own work and figure out what it is you like about it and what you may want to improve next time. Every single piece gives you something to learn, and honestly, I think that's one of the things that makes this journey so exciting. So just remember that as long as you keep practicing, you will be moving forward and improving, even if it doesn't feel like it. And in those moments you feel stuck, redrawing an old piece is the perfect way to appreciate how far you've come. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more artsy videos. I'd also love to hear from you in the comments. Have you ever redrawn an old illustration? How did it feel to compare the two of them? Let's chat down below. And if you want to see more of my art, including both of the illustrations I shared in this video, you can follow my journey over on Instagram at @everlygreenart, where I post all my work as an illustrator. Thank you so much for watching, have a lovely day and see you in the next video. Bye!